I love that song. I think you're on mute.
I was saying me too. Everybody, come on in, come on in. I was just putting my devices on do not disturb. Thank you all so much for being here. We are so excited to do another Q&A. The finishing school for the modern woman is going to be starting very soon after the Labor Day holiday. So this is your opportunity to ask Lucy and I any questions that you have. It's also your opportunity to pitch yourself if you would like to be considered for a scholarship. Our sponsors are watching and making their decisions very soon. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. Lucy, please introduce yourself.
And I am Lucy. I think on my banner I'm called the introverted wife. I think thoughts from an introverted wife. So
Absolutely.
so the mix between Maggie and me is just perfect. She is the extrovert, I'm the introvert, and then we come to the middle and here you have it.
Oh my goodness. We already have a question here from Ann Sand. Yes, you all come on in. If you want to ask your question, you can put it in the chat. We're going to answer for you. And, or if you would like to ask your question in person, you can absolutely click the link. It is pinned to the top and it should be in the description if you want to be camera on or camera off. So I'll take a stab at this and then Lucy, you can do the same. So, a finishing school traditionally, and we are going to cover this in depth in our classes, but traditionally, a finishing school was where young ladies would go after they finished, for example, high school. And so, between the years of like 18 to 21, this is where they would learn refinement. Etiquette, how to fit into society, how to host a dinner party, how to keep a home, proper behavior, speech, dress. It's so much. And usually they were, over a year at a time and sometimes even had a boarding component. So it was basically where ladies who were getting ready to be presented to society would go and finish their training. So we are going to be doing a finishing school for the modern woman, and we're very excited about it. Lucy, what would you like to share? How would you answer that? What is the, oh, I'm
What is
sorry.
what is the male equivalent to a finishing school?
I
I
answered
would
what
say
is a finishing school. Go ahead.
I think I would say something like a refinement school for gentlemen. I'm not really familiar with the male side. I am familiar with the actual finishing school for ladies, but that's a great question, Aunt Sand. I don't. You might have a little more info. Maybe your guy has some knowledge about that,
You know
Maggie.
what? I'm so sorry. I just blew past it. I was so excited. So the question is hello to you both and hello, Ann Sand. What is the male equivalent of a finishing school? So there have been like charm schools or different training. I mean, men can obviously get training in, how to escort a lady, proper dinner etiquette, greetings. I'm not sure if there's an actual like finishing school for men because back in the past, when women were going to finishing school, men would either go into college or university or military or maybe be part of the family business. So the expectation was you were kind of trained in whatever profession you were taking on. But if you're asking if that's something that we are going to cover, I can't say that we are. For right now, our finishing school is going to be for the ladies because Lucy and I definitely want to do our part and pay it forward. But I know, like here in Atlanta, there are different courses that you can take and probably some online as well. Let me know if anyone else in the chat has an answer. We've got another question. Thank you for the question, Ann San. We have another question from Gillis. She says, are your courses seasonal or can anyone sign up at any time? What is the minimum age? Is 12 too young? I love, love, love these questions. And I'll answer and then I'll let Lucy answer as well. And I'll pull up the registration page so you can see, Kalis. So for now, our course is going to start on September 9th, which is the Saturday after Labor Day if you're in the States. It is an 8-week course, so it will end on, I believe, October 24th, which are with our guest speaker. But we are building a community where our students will have lifetime access, but the teaching will be 8 weeks. We are planning to have this and other offerings year round. So, this is Lucy and I's life work. This will be our first endeavor into it. So, if you want all 8 courses, you'll need to sign up by September 9th because that option is going to go away. However, once you look at the curriculum, and I'll pull it up, you can either buy a bundle or the whole course. So if you want classes 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, or 5 and 6, or 7 and 8, as long as those classes have not started yet, you will be able to get those. But the full class will be starting and available up until September 9th. The minimum age, for right now, Lucy and I have said that we're thinking 15, 16 is where we think the minimum for this course. But we have definitely considered having a finishing school option for younger ladies because we definitely believe that we need to, get to them while they're still very young and impressionable. So if we do, we would cater the curriculum to younger. So for right now, we're saying 15 to 16 is going to be our minimum. And then, okay, those were all the questions. So Lucy, I'm going to let you answer. I'm going to pull up the registration page.
Yes, we can absolutely think about the younger generations. Curriculum would probably be more suited to those ages. I'm thinking maybe 9 to 15 or so. Again, it's a different, um, and I'm looking at the learning capacity. It's a different uh, mental. They're little sponges at that time, so we have to maneuver the curriculum to that age because the curriculum right now is set up for older ladies. I mean, 15 and older, but we can definitely create a curriculum for the pedagogy section, which is children or young ladies. And again, that goes back to we would probably do a needs assessment to see what the kind of need that there is for younger set of ladies to come in, and we will definitely work on a curriculum if the need is there.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pull it up so you all can see our registration page. I'm also going to drop the link in the chat and it's also in the description so you all have access to it. And then I'll just show you the registration options. Oh, how about I copy it? All right. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, and thank you for the questions. I would love, love, love to do something for our younger ladies. Y'all know I'm a boy mom. Neither Lucy or I have daughters, and so this is something that we feel very passionate about. Okay, so let me share the screen so you all can see. Okay, so when you come to the page, the finishing school page, you'll see this here. And when you click enroll, it'll take you all the way down here. If you all would like to see the actual curriculum, we have everything posted here. You can expand this out. Some items are even available for you to preview if you would like to see. Let me take me and Lucy down so you all can see here. All right. So when you come down to the bottom, you can see the pricing options. So if you want the full course, it's the $499 price. And again, this is 8 weeks, 8 hours of teaching directly live from me and Lucy, recorded with workbooks, guest speakers, everything, and lifetime access. So that price is going to go away on September 9th because that is the first day of class. Now, if you don't want the whole class, this is what I was talking about. We do have some bundles if you want to do sessions 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. Then you can also scroll up to the top here and you can see what those sessions are. So you can see what makes sense for you. So just wanted to share that, what is available, and hopefully that answers the question. But we would love you all's feedback if you think a course for younger ladies with some different content, more age appropriate content would be beneficial.
And the reason they're bundled together like that is because each one complements the other one. I thought that putting them together like that we thought that it would be a better learning experience if you bought them as bundles.
hmm I want to shout out someone very special in the chat, ladies. You're always welcome to Ninja Watch here, but tonight is your night. So let me explain. You all saw the pricing. So the tuition is $499. You get access to everything lifetime. So we will record these sessions. They will be taught live. So you'll be able to glean from Lucy and my experience, and then we will record them. So if you ever need to refresh yourself or if you miss one of the live sessions, our students will have access to it. Believe me, Lucy and I have done a lot of work in this space, and that price is very, very affordable when you look at other signature courses. However, I'm so grateful that we have so far two gentlemen in the community who believe so much in what we're doing that they are offering full scholarship to the finishing school. Now, in the description, there is a Google form. I'll also pull it up in a moment and drop the link in the chat. So, up until now, if you wanted to be considered for a scholarship, you would anonymously fill out the Google form. Our sponsors, Brandon L. Jett and Mr. Option One, they said it's okay to announce who they were. They gave us the questions that they wanted to be considered to be asked so as they consider scholarship recipients. They will be collecting those responses and perusing through and then selecting who they want to sponsor. If there's anybody else watching who would like to sponsor a student, you can pick directly who you want, or if you want to pick from the pool, we can make that available to you. Now, again, scholarship applications close August 31st. We opened it August 1st, and you have had a month. What makes tonight special is if you want to click that link and you want to pitch yourself or shoot your shot, our sponsors are ready. And I think that would be a good way to stand out from the crowd. What do you say, Lucy?
So I wanted to bring up this comment. Hi, BLJ and uh, Mr. Number One, is it? Mr. Option One, Mr. Number One, Mr. Option One, they're in
Number
the
one.
chat. And hello, everyone. We haven't been bringing up the comments because we've been so focused on sending the content right now. So Elise says, when my kids were young, a boy and a girl, I researched fruitlessly for a charm school, so to speak, in the Detroit area to teach them proper etiquette in various situations. Good on you, ladies. Thank you so much, Elise.
Absolutely. So I have dropped the Google form in the chat if there's any ladies who want to apply. It's not required that you cam up or call in. You can be camera on or camera off, but we wanted to make that available to you all. Lucy and I are going to try and do some type of Q&A for the community. You can ask us anything twice a month if we can make it work. You can also click the link if you just want to ask us a question or give any feedback. We are definitely open. I think I saw some other
And I
people.
want to say coming up is a plus because then we see whether you prepared to be online. And again, I used to say in Kevin Samuels' chat, to the ladies that would come up, to think that this would be like an interview for your possible either next work potential, because there are other people watching here, or maybe a future love interest. So again, coming up is a plus. Be ready, but you don't have to.
Absolutely. So while the questions are coming in, I'll shout out a few more people in the chat. I did put together some FAQ slides because we announced this finishing school on August 1st. It's been open for about a month now. So scholarship applications will close tomorrow. But if you want to register yourself, that's going to be available until September 9th when we actually start teaching. I saw Sinji in the chat. He says, blessings, Queens in the building. He's listening while resting. Yes, please get your rest. We appreciate you so, so much. We got Mr. Option One, our other generous sponsor, is watching here. We have the condemned in the house. Just another mark says, you two ladies stay working hard. Absolutely. It's important. You all don't have to look very far to see what has become of modern women. And Lucy and I want to offer an alternative. And Lucy and I have our own YouTube channels, and she was big, still a moderator in the Kevin Samuel space. And for a long time, the men in our lives and in the community have asked us to share what we know. So this is our offering, and we have so much more to come. MGTOW by Logic says, so glad there's finally some older women willing and able to mentor young women instead of competing with them for men. God bless you. Yes, I'm 47. Lucy has shared her age as well. Beautiful at 57. So we are very happy in our personal lives. And so it's our time to give back. Sinji says teachers didn't look this good. Well, we are dressed and ready. I'm going to share my screen, but Lucy brought up a comment about being camera ready. So ladies, it's not the end of the world. However, we do want to say that's going to be one of the expectations for, let me close this down. That's going to be one of the expectations for finishing school, is that if you do come onto the screen, you are camera ready. All right, so let me make sure I'm sharing here. All right, so we are going to go through the Q&A. Again, you can ask us anything. This is your opportunity, but we have some slides here for anyone who missed the original announcement. And Lucy, keep an eye on the chat if we've got anybody who needs to have their question answered.
Will do.
Please interrupt. All right, so here's Maggie and here's Lucy. So we're going to do a little bit of FAQ, frequently asked questions. Again, welcome, ladies. This finishing school is going to be for ladies of, we'll say of all age, of any age, but yeah, we're going to start from the 15 to 16 and up. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you all are here. Lucy and I are ready. Excuse me, y'all, I'm getting over a little cold. Lucy and I are ready to teach you, so please don't hesitate to ask. And we want to give you all a little bit of flavor as to what you can expect in class. So just one thing to say. So our 8 weeks of class will be an hour of lecture. So Lucy and I will teach based on the curriculum, and then we will have an open Q&A for our students directly after each class. So kind of like office hours. So we're going to do this so you all get a little flavor of what you can expect. Ooh, MGTOW by Logic says, anytime a woman is in public, she should be camera ready. I
I
agree.
agree.
I'll just share with you all, and then I'll go back to the slides. I had to hire a stylist because it's still not a strength of mine. I've done a lot of work to refine for my own personal reasons, because I used to be that mom that would just put on whatever was clean and comfortable. And my stylist told me, every time you step out of your house, someone is seeing you for the first time. And I never forgot that. So we'll talk about putting a routine together that you're always presentable, that you can be instantly elegant. All right, so let's go back to our slides. Thank you, MGTOW Biologic. We appreciate the feedback. All right, so if you are ready to become more feminine, if you've been getting feedback that you are abrasive, that you are loud, that you have masculine energy, maybe you didn't even know. That happened to me. I remember getting feedback. My ex-husband, I was just coming home, corporate all on me, barking orders. He was like, I don't work for you. And it shocked me because that was never my intention. But the world that we live in can have you thinking that you need to compete with the men like a man. And that's what we want to work against. Do you want to be more elegant? Do you want to move more gracefully? Do you want to have that feminine allure, that thing that just doesn't age, that just draws people to you? That's what we want to promote. Do you want to have better etiquette? Etiquette is really about the rules that apply to different social situations in different environments. So, we're going to talk a lot about that. We want to make sure that our students feel comfortable in any environment, with any mixed company, whether it's family or corporate or interview or business or traveling globally. We want to make sure that you're prepared. Lucy, I'll pause there. Do you want to add anything about femininity, elegance, or etiquette so far?
I think that as we're teaching this curriculum, we're learning from each other as well. I used to be a tomboy, and the reason that I'm a little more soft now, it's because my mom took the time to send me to this, to, I guess maybe it was like a charm school. I don't know what it was, some type of modeling school. But it's something that you have to, if you're not taught, you don't know what you don't know. So we're gonna be learning from each other. Especially, I'm looking forward to the etiquette part, like the dinner table and setting up the table and what knife and fork to use and when to do it and which glass is used for this, because I'm still learning. So this is going to be just just a sort of like a collaboration of learning.
Absolutely. I feel so strongly about that. I mean, ladies, I have taken so many classes. I have certificates from Emma DuPont's signature course, multiple courses, whether it's conversation, whether it's her etiquette course, whether it's her international course, business course, Anna Bay signature course on style, signature course on elegance, Jamila Musayeva. I just continue to consume. I'm still a student. I may be a few steps ahead, but we're still very relatable because, we can all get better. You're never a master of your craft, but one thing that I am very passionate about is creating this community of ladies who look at what's out there today and say, that doesn't really represent me at all. And we want to build that lifetime bond so we can support each other. Thank you, Jesse. We appreciate you. Yes, we're gonna learn all of that. Okay, if I haven't missed any questions, I'm gonna go back to the slides and keep going. All right, all right. So yes, those are going to be our three. Call us Fifi: feminine, elegance, etiquette. That's going to be our focus. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about. We talked a little bit about who the course is for. We're going to tell you all a little bit about ourselves. We've already shared some of that, but for those of you who may not know me, I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. I do have a YouTube cooking channel. I am a divorcee, married 10 years. Since then, been in a long-term relationship. And I always say, I got married at 25 to my college boyfriend, and I absolutely loved being married. And I would 100% marry again. However, I did get caught up in some of that modern woman mindset, right? Men and women are equal. We can do anything men can do until I hit the wall. But I do have two boys from the marriage and we co-parent really well, so I don't regret it. But since the divorce, I've been in a long-term relationship with a very traditional man who requires a feminine woman. And so I signed up for classes for myself so I can be the best version of myself. I've learned a lot, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you all because being a boy mom, being in corporate America, I work in technology, all very masculine, data driven, competitive. And so I have to work very hard every day to maintain my softness. And when I started studying in this space, I loved it. I can't get enough of it. It's kind of like an escape for me. And it finally allows me to kind of be that girl that I've always wanted to be. And so that's what I want to share with you all. Lucy, would you like to share a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, I'm Lucy. You know me as Lucasely20 through Kevin Samuels, and I have a channel mainly focused on teaching Spanish, but I also include some content about femininity and just modern day concerns and issues, and specifically modern women. I have a bachelor's in vocational education, and the reason I ended up in this mix is because my friend Maggie one day was talking about, yeah, it would be a great idea. The men were talking about it would be good to have older women teaching the younger women some of the information that they don't get in a regular basis. So I said, I could write up curriculum for you. That's all it took. That's all it took. She said she would call me. She called me after she finished her session, and that's where it all started. I do have a also experience in the private sector. I used to be an executive assistant. I'm an analyst now, so I work within the actual uh, work environment. But at the same time, it's important that when you're in the work environment, you don't lose your femininity. You can get a lot done, especially if you're very feminine, through using your your skills of just being a woman.
I absolutely love that, and I concur 100%. If you show up as feminine, even in the corporate space, you are so different from most of the masculine women that we work with, believe me. Lucy, there was a question here from KR. Says, is that Lucy from Crimson's channel?
That's me from the Crimson Cure. I also moderate her Crimson's chat, and that's another woman that maybe we should think about later on, including her as part of our guests, because she wrote a book. It's called something about the Black feminine. So
Mm.
she would be, maybe we could talk a little bit more once we're done about including her as part of our guests later on. And yes, I am the moderator for the Crimson Cure.
Absolutely. And I'll show you all, not only will you hear from Lucy and I, but Lucy and me, but we will be expanding our network to our students. You know, over our years of professional and personal development, we have amassed quite the network. So we want to bring those speakers in to talk to our students so you can glean from them as well. And all of that's going to be included for our students. Let's see a few comments here. Tawana says, yes, etiquette classes were more available in the past. We need more of these classes to keep our softness. I 100% agree. So, yes, ladies, thank you. Gillis says, parents enroll kids for tutoring and extra classes outside of school. This should be as important for those that have teenage girls, which are the biggest group. I think that needs the help. Y'all, yes, I have seen it. You know, both of the boys have their first little girlfriends, and I'm that mom. I pull up to the school and I'm looking and I'm like, who is that? But he's got a good one. She comes from a good family, which is what I told him. Oh, goodness. Thank you all so much for the feedback. MGTOW by Logic says we're doing this mentoring with young men. Yes, please share. Someone had a question about that for men. It's high time the older women do the same for the young ladies. We have heard you all loud and clear. Um, I'll be the first to say, and maybe even speaking a little bit for Lucy, but those of us that are happy have stayed quiet and to ourselves because, it's cold outside, but you all have created such a supportive community for us. We're very happy to begin this work. Oh, Erin
That's
Laura
the
said,
title. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
no,
The
please.
title of Crimson Cure's book is Reclaiming the, I think I pulled it up, I lost it.
Oh, okay.
Reclaiming the Black, oh, here we go. It's Reclaiming the Black Feminine.
Ah,
Excellent
Brandon
book.
bought. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Another comment from Tawana. She says, we also need classes for our boys so our girls won't have a hard time finding a suitable mate. I'll leave that to the men. We need to keep it balanced. So maybe Tawana and it was MGTOW. Maybe you all can share in the chat where the young men can go. I support 100%. Erin Laura says, I've often said I'm not a modern woman, but I am a woman in modern times. Masculine tendencies can rub off on the most feminine of us. That is so true. So, ladies, believe me, if you live in this modern world, it is very, very different. Yes. Thank you all for listening. All right. If no other questions, I'm going to go back to the slides. Okay, so we've shared with you all a little bit about us. You'll get to know us very well, have access to us. So, what's included in the curriculum? So, I pulled it up. You all saw it's going to be 8 lessons, and each lesson is going to be on a unique topic. You can go to the curriculum and see it there. But let me come over to my screen so you all can see us. Just explain. So, 8 classes. Each class would have its own slide deck for the material. Lucy and I will be presenting it unless there's a guest speaker. In addition, there will be a downloadable and editable PDF that corresponds with each class. So if we're talking about, dining, there's a dining workbook. If we're talking about style, there's a style workbook. We'll have different activities, different things that we'll be doing, but we'll have an hour of lecture and then 30 minutes of open Q&A for our students, as well as the guest speakers. You will have lifetime access to the materials, and they will be recorded if you ever need to rewatch. Lucy, you want to share anything else that's included?
And the beautiful thing about the workbook is if they print it out, if you print it out, you can go along and take notes and write whatever thoughts and ideas you will have as we are presenting that content. So it's pretty it's hands-on. Even though we're online, we are going to have activities that we're going to be able to practice what we learn, because again, you can teach as much content, but if the practice is not there, you're going to lose it.
Yes, absolutely. So excited about that, you all. And what Lucy said, we're working really hard to make sure you have materials, not only to follow along, but to make it personal. So every step along the way, and I'll give you all a little insight, we're going to do a pre and post assessment for our students so we know what they want to get out of the class in addition to our curriculum. And then as we go through the class, we're going to be asking you all to rate yourselves honestly, because what did Kevin used to say? Self-awareness is sexy, right? But it's good to know where you stand so that you'll be able to rate. Like for me, when I was doing my own assessment, smiling comes easy to me, not swearing comes easy to me. However, I was louder than I needed to be. I didn't know that. I was more masculine, like in my gestures, like I would just open the door or close a cabinet, just kind of hard, not really knowing what I was doing. I had to work on being more graceful. So we'll be going through all of these different categories so you all can so our students can rate themselves. And then towards the end, the goal is to kind of see where you stand with all of these feminine qualities and then put a plan in place so we can help you attack the ones that you need work on, and give you some support to maintain the ones that you're already doing well. I see Real Bravado Network in the house with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He says support to two of my favorite ladies. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
you.
much.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know, when you talk about the masculinity factor, I remember I was a long time ago when I was very young. The masculinity is kind of reinforced by what you watch and what you listen to and what you do. I remember reading a Cosmopolitan article that talked about man spreading, and they said, and it said, ladies, you can also do that when you get to your board meeting. You can spread your documentation and you can claim your space. And I remember reading that. Imagine that was a long time ago. I remember what reading that and saying, "God, that doesn't sound right. I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable spreading myself all over the place at the board." But it makes you think about it. Okay, that's what they're teaching us. If an article says it, maybe it's okay. So we are getting bombarded from everywhere to take our femininity away from us.
My goodness, I want to respond to that, but I have to shout out none other than Jeff Liscombe in the chat. Everybody put Jeff in the chat. If you don't know who he is, I always get chills when he comes through. I'll give you all a little bit of story time. So Jeff Liscombe is the best friend of the late great Kevin Samuels, and Lucy and I had a connection before we even knew each other. Lucy still is a moderator on Kevin's channel, and if you all ever heard him say, "Ain't that right, Luke Casely?" I was like, "Who is this Luke Casely?" I had no idea who he was talking to. I was one of those ninja watchers, y'all. I would listen to Kevin. I was never in the chat, but I did have the absolute honor of booking a session with him because I wanted to talk to him privately, and I couldn't really articulate what it was, but I knew that whenever he would say, "Where are the older women to teach the young? I can't do this." And my heart would just break because I'm like, okay, I'm over here comfortable in my cul-de-sac, but I felt like Kevin was talking directly to me. And so I got the courage one day to book a session with him. And y'all, he was incredibly gracious one-on-one. But we started the Wives Club community. We're on a little summer hiatus, but that is coming back after everyone travels with their family. But this right here, this class, I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm continuing. I'm answering the call. Lucy, what do you want to say about Kevin?
It is confirmation just to have his best friend just join us here on this conversation, and it's a little heartbreaking for me because I didn't get a chance to actually talk to him, but through this, we are this is our homage to him and to all we learned from him while he was alive.
Absolutely. So, yes, ladies, we will be working with you. And don't fret. This is just the beginning. If you've never heard any of this type of teaching before, it's okay. We all start somewhere. This is going to be us locking arms and, like Lucy said, learning from each other and getting better. So, we are so, so excited. What does Monica say? I'm in the aviation industry and over 50, and it's work to not unleash the masculine side of myself. Great job to opening this to our young ladies. Absolutely. Give you all a little tip. One of the things, ladies, that you all can do is watch men and watch boys and see how they react and how they act and do the opposite. I'll give you an example. When a man walks into a barber shop, "Hey, how you doing?" They're loud, they're greeting each other, they're slapping backs. That's just how men are. If you've ever watched boys, they run up to each other and headbutt and just do the craziest stuff. So I remember kind of just observing and saying, when men enter a space, they get, bigger. Like they're taught to kind of like hold that frame and take up more space. A lot of this stuff, and we're going to talk about it in our class, a lot of it is primal. It just goes way, way back to to ways that humans have evolved, if you will, in a way to survive, right? But the feminine qualities don't need to show up in that way. You know, we're usually smaller, working on that, smaller, softer, usually in that support role. And so we're just going to promote so much more of that. But yes, taking up all that space in the boardroom, coming in loud, I have been in meetings, y'all. I have seen women pound the table to get their point across. It's completely unnecessary. And I will sit in a meeting silent until, someone realizes, Margaret, you haven't said, well, Margaret's my name. Maggie's my childhood nickname. Margaret, would you like to share? You haven't said anything. And then I have the floor and I can say what I need to say. So there's so many ways that your femininity really is a superpower. So exciting. Thank you all for shouting out Jeff. We got Lisa the housewife, part of the Wise Club, Jeff. We got Anthony. He says it's good to see both of my YouTube crushes. Oh, that's so sweet. I've always loved Maggie. She's so yummy. Lucy is my recent crush. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Yes, I haven't even heard the term man spreading. Oh, interesting. All right. Yes, Auntie Lucy's in the house here with Auntie Maggie. Just scrolling. What does Jeff say? He was so excited. Don't make me cry. I'm a softie. Kevin was so excited to have women like you two helping women in the way he couldn't and didn't want to try. Your work is amazing. I just want to make him proud. His work was so pivotal and touched so many of us. And so I just want to make him proud and I want to keep it going. Ah, yes, with men, there's always a low level threat of violence. Absolutely. That is not who we are, ladies. We do not do that. Hello, Miley. Church girl is listening. Yes, we'll go back to the slides. Again, this is an open Q&A. Lucy and I are going to do this a couple times a month. Any questions that you all have for the older ladies in the community, we're happy to answer, but we're just going to go over a few more FAQs. But if you have a question, you can either click the link, you can be camera on or camera off, or if you want to give us some feedback, or you can type your question in the chat. So glad you all are here. Yes, shout out to Kevin. Everybody put KS in the chat. Oh, goodness. All right, let's continue on with our FAQ. So we told you all a little bit about what's included in the curriculum. When are the classes? So I did a little bit of a who, what, when, where, why, and how, just to kind of answer any questions. So for the schedule, we talked a little bit about this, but I'll just repeat. So this is going to be Saturday school. All right. So welcome to Saturday school. Wherever you all live in the world, kids are probably going back to school if they aren't already. So this will be taught on Saturday at 12 noon Eastern, which will be 9 a.m. Pacific. We know we have students all across the globe, so we tried to pick a time that would kind of work for almost everyone. The sessions will be a private Zoom link that will only be accessible to you in your student portal. If you're unable to attend the live session, it will be recorded. Again, you'll have lifetime access to the teaching, the Q&A, and you'll have your workbooks. Someone asked about the workbooks. This is not going to be like pre-work homework that you have to do before class, but we have our lecture slides and we've made you all corresponding workbooks. So if we're on page 6 of the teaching, you'll go to page 6 of your workbook and you'll be able to download that, type in it, print it out, whatever you want to do. Lucy, anything to add on when the classes are?
I think we picked a good time, Saturday morning here on Pacific side, and then noon time. I think it's on your side. So yeah, we're hoping that that you do show up. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be lots of learning for all of us. And God, I had something about the classes, and I forgot. I'm gonna have to get back. Old age, old. Um, Uh, so yeah, I think you said it all, Maggie.
Yeah, it'll come back to you. So we do have this in our curriculum, and we'll go over this on week one. But ladies, Lucy and I have put a lot of work into preparing for this. So if you are in the live sessions, we're just asking you to block that time in your calendar. It's an hour. If you stay for the Q&A, 90 minutes, so that you don't have distractions. Again, if you're going to be camera on, we're always going to be in uniform for you all, representing well. But we ask that you are camera ready. And someone made a comment about that. I mean, when you are on a stream, whether it's a Zoom for work or something like this, it's still like going outside. You are going to be seen. And so we'll talk about what that means. It doesn't mean anything elaborate, but we are asking you to come to class ready to learn, and camera ready. And it's just going to be good practice for getting yourself together to be in any environment. Thank you,
And
Mom.
there's no need to prep yourself with, with everything, lots of makeup or anything. If it's the morning, you can have a fresh face. The Crimson Cure is on. Oh my goodness. Miss Kendra. She's on. So all you need to do is show up fresh faced with a nice top, ready to have an interview with us or a meeting with us.
I meant to unmute myself and I hit the camera. Thank you so much for being here. The Crimson Cure, I have watched you. We just shouted you out. If you want to click the link, or if anyone wants to click the link and either ask a question or chime in, we're just going through our FAQ slides for our finishing school. And Lucy suggested that we may want to bring you on as one of our guest speakers so you can listen. And we would love to promote any of the ladies in this space that feel the way that we do. So I'll continue. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so we talked about when the class is. So it's going to be Saturday school. All right, where is school taught? So this is going to be, virtual learning for now. And the for now means, like I said, Lucy and I have so many plans to do events and meetups and teas or retreats. We're not there yet, but for the beginning, and this is going to be our first class, it will be on Zoom. So you just need a device and an internet connection. Probably a laptop or computer would be better so you can see the slides. You could do it on your phone if you needed to, but again, we want you to be focused and not worried about that. But you can take the class from wherever you are. Maybe in 2024, when we are ready and able to do some in-person events, our students will have priority access. And we have so many plans because we definitely want to put into practice what we've been teaching. Lucy, did you want to add anything to that?
No, but I want to answer ex church girls question. Hello, what is the age limit for the classes? There is no age limit. It starts at 15 years old, and then we are expecting all ages for this amazing curriculum.
Yes, absolutely. And great question. We've gotten some feedback that there may be a desire for us in the future to do something for younger ladies. But right now, 15 to 50, it doesn't matter. I mean, Lucy and I are both mature women. I'm 47, she's 57. We've been, very, upfront and honest about that. I believe in, acting age appropriate, and we'll talk about that. But femininity to me is one of those things that never ages. I mean, to me, there's nothing like seeing an older woman who's still like just graceful and beautiful. I think it's timeless. So, yes, we can all get better, we can all refine. But just a little hint into, what we're considering, nothing yet, but maybe a finishing school for the younger woman. If we get feedback that there are some women like 40 plus that, for whatever reason, maybe post divorce, maybe your kids are up and out, you're starting over, who knows? Maybe we'll do finishing school for the mature woman. We've also thought about there may be an opportunity to take this to business, finishing school for the professional woman, because a lot of companies, especially with our wonderful Gen Zs and no, millennials, um, may want a little bit more etiquette in the workplace. So there's lots of opportunities here. So we would love you all's feedback. But for this first go round, all are welcome, all ladies. Top Lobster says in person finishing school sounds exciting. Oh, thank you, Dennis, for the compliment. We try. Yes. Oh, yes. Matching again. So this is intentional. This is our uniform as your teachers. Lucy and I will always be in black and pearls because we want to show up for our students. So this is our teacher uniform. So I'm glad that you all appreciate. We definitely want to look good for you. Miley says 15 age minimum. How did you decide on this number? I'm going to let Lucy answer. I think it was because she's one with the teacher background. I think it was about the attention span and the material that we're teaching. How would you answer that, Lucy?
Yes, it's mainly content. We are going to be probably talking about more age appropriate content, and we don't want to have somebody that's very young, especially on the when we're talking about dating and going out and dressing appropriately. That is something that's probably not going to be um, as understood by a younger crowd than 15 and up.
Yes, absolutely. So if we were to do something for our tweens, 10, 11, 12, we would probably take out some of the professional stuff, maybe add more of the social media stuff, definitely age appropriate when it comes to dress, makeup, all of that. So thank you for the question and the feedback. If you all think the younger girls is where we should focus next, then we will definitely take that feedback. Hello, Mr. Retention. Condemn says, careful with those millennials when you're in person. I might sign up to run security. We definitely need the men in our community. They have been so protective of us, and the reason why we feel brave enough to do this. Gilly says, oh man, age appropriate Maggie. I know. Okay. If you all have seen me in my cooking classes, the kitchen is where I cut loose, but I'm still the same Maggie. I just put my teacher hat on for you all. All right. Ooh, Top Lobster says, I'm starting homeschool soon. I'll have so much more time to invest in learning etiquette. You can't wait. That is wonderful. All right, so I'm going to keep going to the slides. If y'all have any questions, please jump in and let us know. So we talked about where the class is going to be taught. Why do we need it? I'd love for you all to answer this question. We've talked a lot about why this is needed. And I will say this, we are making this available for those ladies who want it. By no means, Lucy and I are not trying to force anyone who doesn't want to refine. But if you have any reasons. It could be personal reasons. Maybe you're a lady who's single and you want to present the best feminine version of yourself for a masculine man because masculine men do not want masculine energy in their women. Um, I've often said, there are many reasons, right? What if you are in a relationship and you're going to be meeting the in laws? I'm going to be a mother in law one day, God willing. It also could be a business meeting, it could be an interview, it could be funding for your business. You never know. And we just want our ladies and our students to be confident in any environment. Maybe like me, you got some feedback that you're a little loud and you got to work on that. But I think that's why this is needed. What do you say, Lucy?
I like the part about funding that you mentioned because I'm thinking about, what if you get invited to a gala and you don't know how to maybe wear appropriate dressing? What does it mean to do black tie? What does it mean to wear a certain type of dress? So, and I have seen some pictures about young ladies that go to prom with dresses that are just not appropriate for that age. So I think because the modern world has made us think that some ways of behaving is okay. I think we need this to refresh our memory to say, no, femininity has to be sweet and soft, and it doesn't have to be out there as they're telling you it should be.
Absolutely, ladies, less is more. And Lucy's right. I feel for the young women today because the image that they are presented is, like Gilly says, is so ratchet, and that's become normalized. And we're here to say, no, you don't need a hot girl summer. It doesn't serve you. And, the other thing, I'll be honest with you guys, like I said, I was over here minding my business with my apron on in my cul-de-sac, and my guy was like, you need to get this out here. And I'm like, get what out here? He's like, all that stuff that you do. I'm like, what do I do? All that stuff that you do. So I'm here teaching all that stuff that I do. But, one of the things that he said that struck me is that the other side is getting so loud and this side is not speaking up. And so it's almost like if we just let it be, people are going to think that we agree, and we don't. And you can absolutely stand on your boundaries without shouting, without arguing, without being disagreeable. You can disagree. We're going to teach all of that in the class, but this is our legacy because Lucy and I want to make an impact in a way that will long outlive us. What do you say, Lucy?
Yes, and we are getting some answers as far as why do we need it. So let me pull up a couple. Why do we need it? Because marriage and birth rates are at an all-time low. Men are looking for feminine women. It shouldn't be as rare as it is. He's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, um, you can't have uh, a set of testosterones fighting at the home place. First of all, women, we should have the lowest level of testosterone ever. So that we need to get back and find our superpower. And our superpower is just to be feminine and soft and gentle and good to our husbands, our boyfriends, our kids. So that it's something that it's and as the newer generation starts learning that, the peer pressure is probably going to be on those that are not behaving right to maybe start coming to this side because it's needed. It's time to do it.
Absolutely. And that's something that Kevin always used to say in his streams, and I'll never forget it. I mean, men establish relationships. We women give access, to relations, or we don't, And so, ladies, if we want that marriage and family, we need to be acting in a way that promotes that before the time comes. I feel very, very strongly about that. Charles says it's needed because our cultural values of the traditional woman has changed or is deteriorating. Heartbreaking to hear, but it's true. Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for the feedback. Mr. Retention is calling for the purge. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Monica says these prom dresses are horrid. It's hard to see. Yes, I mean, it just it's bad, y'all, and we know and we agree, and we're trying to do something about it. So thank you for the Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. Let me see if I can get through the rest of these slides. I appreciate y'all. Again, this is your open Q&A, so we'll be on for just a little bit longer. I don't see anyone in the back, so this is our last one before class starts. You can fill out the scholarship form, or if you want to pitch yourself, our sponsors are in the chat watching and listening if any ladies are interested in pitching yourself. Okay, so we talked about why we need the finishing school. Okay, how do I register? So we talked a little bit about that and we showed you all the screen. There's a link, it's in the description. You can either register for all 8 sessions, which we recommend so you can get the full access, or you can look at the specific curriculum. For example, if you just want to do like dining and social media sections, you can buy just those course bundles. But I will say all of the benefits and the lifetime access will be to the students that complete the entire course. Lucy, you want to say anything else about registration?
I feel terrible for your voice, and as you've noticed, Maggie is the talker. I'm the reinforcement back here. So anytime that she gives me the floor, I'm thinking, I don't, the introvert, let me think, let me speak a little more like her. So, so I'm trying. So she's the talker. So when it comes to the registration, I would say maybe I would recommend the entire course because you will get the entire experience from beginning to end. And we're starting it from less challenging to more to from easy to harder. So I think that it would behoove you. It would be um, just a positive thing if you decided to get the entire course instead of the bundles.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much. Yes, Lucy is doing incredible. Thank you. Lady Naboa says it's worth it. And she says, please do it, ladies. It's important. We need more wives for our hardworking men. I feel very strongly about this as well. I mean, look, as a mom, I have selfish motives. Like in 10, 20, 15, whatever years from now, I would love to be a mother in law. And I do. I feel for the boys, and I hope that I pray that you know they will have a good crop to choose from. But it starts now, and yeah, we definitely believe in supporting the men. Yes, hello everyone. Thank you all so much for coming in. All right, let's continue if no other questions. All right, so we talked about how you register. The link is in the description. You can take a look at the curriculum. So I'll just go through and share with you all, in addition to Lucy and I, you will also have access to several guest speakers. And I want to introduce a new one. Very excited to share with you all. Our business attorney, Lauren from Activated Law, is going to be one of our guest speakers. She is, as you can see here, she calls herself a digital nomad. So she's actually a business law attorney. She has been working with Lucy and I behind the scenes to trademark our name, to make sure our curriculum and our everything is protected, and just make sure that we leave, we just do everything in order. Lauren is an attorney. Her company is Activated Law. You can check her out at activatedlaw.com. That's one of her multiple websites. Digital nomad just means she's based out of the Arizona area, but I actually met Lauren in London when I traveled for a podcast, and she's, one of my consults, and she's been okay with me sharing that with you all. I do consults for ladies. If you want to reach out, you can find the link in my link tree. But she's been on her own femininity journey of yours. She is of her own. She is a published author. Faithfully Yours is the book, and she's going to talk about business and protecting yourself, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're traveling across the globe. But she's also going to talk about her own feminine transformation because she has a heart to give back as well. She's a beautiful example of balancing strength as, an entrepreneur, an attorney, and being elegant. And her website, one of them, you can go to thelegalno.co, and she has a lot of resources there, like a startup kit if you're an entrepreneur, everything you need to get all of your ducks in a row. And she has been helping us. Anything you want to share about our Lauren?
An amazing woman, an amazing young lady. Anytime she talks, you can say, wow, that's an attorney that I want on my side. She knows her stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be exciting when she comes up as one of our guests.
Yes, we can't wait. Mr. Retention says, thank you for being a light in this world. I appreciate it. MGTOW says, I looked for decades in the West before I finally gave up and went 8,000 miles away. Had to change my religion. Wow, what a journey to find a traditional, moral, and cooperative woman. I support you, but dang, y'all got a hill here. We know. We know. And look, we are just trying to do our part. We know that it's going to be a challenge, but I'm very excited. The ladies that have registered so far, the scholarship recipients that have been awarded so far, one left, ladies, shoot your shot. They're very excited to get started, and that's who we want to teach. This is not us. This is not about us trying to convince anyone, but for the ladies that have looked around and said, this doesn't represent me at all, we finally have an alternative. I'm so excited. So we'll continue on. If there are other questions, MGTOW says, I hope you grow by thousands to thousands. Hey, from your lips to God's ears. But Lucy and I do feel like this could be very big. So, yes, you all spread the word, and thank you. Thank you for that. Um, the other speakers I shared with you all the first go around, so I'll just continue to go through them quickly so you all can see who else has agreed to be a guest speaker in the finishing school. Sarah Bodenova is another coach of mine. She is a former ballroom, like champion ballroom dancer. She has her own business called the Femininity Project and podcast. She is going to come speak to our students on feminine movement. She has a course that I bought called How to Walk in Heels, and not just for heels, but also for your flats, or just how to position yourself, the arm swing, the hip sway, the waist, like all of the things that you do without saying any words that help you show up in a more feminine way. Sarah's going to come speak to our students. My stylist, Ria, this is the one who told me, every time you step outside, someone is seeing you for the first time. I had to hire Ria to help me get it together. She made me go through my entire closet, try on everything, make sure it fits, make sure it's flattering. Can you wear it with three other things? If not, it had to go. So that was quite the purge. Ria is a former corporate executive for Nike. You all know the company, the shoe company, and her business is Paper Doll Factory. You all can check her out. She also does virtual consultations as well. My photographer, I saw her at Panera today getting coffee. So Caitlin is also a wife and mother. Caitlin has been taking my family photos for years. A lot of you all have mentioned, like how I show up on camera, but I've worked on it. Everything about me, like the way that I speak, eye contact, smiling, I've gotten feedback and I've worked on it to be intentionally warm and welcoming. It is natural to me, but there are things that you can do to bring people in and to draw people away. So Caitlin is going to come speak to our students about showing up your best in photos, whether it's a headshot for work or family photos, how to make sure that your like digital presence comes across the way you want it to. So everything from how to stand, your posture, how to hold your head. There's so much into it. I'm not a professional, so Caitlin's going to speak. This is her website, CaitlinHillPhotography.com. So any professional pictures you see of me, probably came from Caitlin. Former coworker of mine, this is Christine, also a wife and mother. Before the pandemic, I was an executive at the Coca-Cola company. Ria and Christine were actually on my team. She was the food and beverage manager at Coke. We had 7 restaurants, one for each continent. So you could get everything there. They had one of those huge campuses, kind of like Amazon or Google, and she managed all of that for thousands of people. So she loves dark chocolate and wine. Christine is going to come speak to our students about hosting a dinner party, just proper etiquette in dining and just table placement and serving. It's so important. I think so. And so she's going to come talk to us about hospitality. You all know her and you love her, our own AV. She is actually behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know this, but AV has a knack for home decor. If you've seen her YouTube channel, you know the set is always beautifully designed wherever she is. And she's also been hired to do work for other YouTubers, I won't mention any names, who need help with set design to get their aesthetic across on the screen. I'm waiting in line because y'all, this is not a strength of mine. But AV is going to come talk to our students about how to make your home warm and welcoming, how to decorate on a budget, different trends and different things to make sure that you bring that woman's touch, that feminine. A femininity into the home, which I think is so important, especially for our men who, need an escape from the world. So you all know her YouTube channel. Of course, she's a legal student and, she loves her luxury brands, but I cannot wait to have AV come speak. So Lucy, do you want to say anything about our guest speakers? Maybe Crimson Cure, since you're in the chat, maybe we need to make a slide for her, but what would you like to add?
Well, first we need to get an okay from her to see if she wants to join us. I mean, that was an idea that we were throwing out this earlier. So we're gonna have to get maybe I'll contact her and see if we can get her. I don't know if we have time for this round of guests. Maybe for the next session we can get her in. But yes, I would love to have her on. I mean, her content is amazing. I've been watching her for about, I don't know, a year or two or so. Maybe at the same time that I started watching Kevin Samuels. So because she's kind of like the feminine side of Kevin Samuels because she does focus mainly on black femininity and the black community and some of the issues that are affecting. So that would be amazing to have her. So yes, maybe later on we can talk about how we're going to contact her for our next session if she wants to.
Absolutely. You all can see how Lucy has to rein me in because I'll just run with it. But look, hopefully you all can see that we are working very hard to make sure that our students have access to the best. And like Lucy said, so we're going to start small, but we're going to start because that's the most important thing. And for our students that do the entire curriculum, all of these speakers are going to be included. So as we get them on the calendar, we will send you the private Zoom link so you'll be able to listen and learn and ask your questions. They'll come and teach for that 45 minutes to an hour, and then you'll be able to ask your questions to, my network, to Lucy's network, and we'll share with you all. So we're very, very excited. Some of this will extend into 24. We know we're getting towards the back half of the year, But if you have, this is kind of the stuff that we mean when you have lifetime access. Whenever we have these type of opportunities, our students are always going to be first in line. Reaching Freedom says the femininity exudes from you in so many ways. How can you educate others to present as you do? Well, that's why we're here. Thank you for the compliment. I'll answer and then Lucy can answer. I will say I work on it a lot. I'm never going to tell you all this is what you have to do. I always try to share from this is what I've done. And if it's helpful, I absolutely love sharing, but I have to be intentional about it. Some of the work that I've done required me to record myself or have someone record me. Zoom meetings or having a YouTube channel is really good to go back and watch and cringe and say, "Oh my God, is that what I show up like?" Um, but I would just, if I were to teach, or when I teach the younger ladies, the number one thing is going to be that self awareness and just being mindful of it. Because I think in our fast paced society, we just rush through. I know I was just rushing through everywhere until I learned elegance is not rushed. And I was like, oh, okay. I need to slow down. I need to soften my voice. I need to slow down when I'm speaking. Um, and I would just say, um, awareness, number one. And then number two, just know that you are going to be different. You're going to stick out, and not everybody's going to like it. And that's okay. But I would say, in the long run, it serves you in so many ways. Believe me. Um, there's going to be more for our students. So send them to our class. Lucy, how would you answer that one?
I love that you talk about awareness. The way I see it also, it's being considerate, taking consideration of everything that's around you, because the world really doesn't necessarily revolve around you. You are part of this world. So again, it goes back to awareness, being careful about how you say things, how you put things away. Hold on, something popped up in my computer. How how you move around other people, how you say things. I was listening to a podcast, I think last night, and for women, we're not concerned about what is said, but it's how things are said. So if somebody comes to you with this strong um, way of saying things, take a step back and say, do I sound like that person? Do I want to be that person that nobody wants to talk about because I sound too strong? So I think it's being considerate about how you are going to um, move around the world.
I absolutely love that. And then I'll come to Al's question here, but it reminds me of one of the things Kevin Samuels used to say about I match energy. So here's another free tip, ladies. Oftentimes, I get compliments and comments that I smile a lot, and I do naturally, but I also smile intentionally because when I smile at someone, they smile back at me. How many times have you been to a place and it's like, we've all been there, right? I try, not always successfully, but I try to at least lead with the best because what Lucy just said about what you experience from other people, if you take a moment and say, man, are they shouting at me because I'm shouting at them? I can't tell you how many times I've intentionally lowered my voice. And then without even thinking, the other person that I'm speaking to, they will bring it down as well. Or if I don't interrupt, they will let me finish my thought and they don't interrupt. Sometimes, and again, it just goes back to that primal thing where in nature, like we're all trying to like survive and just, fight at each other. And having that awareness and intentionally being different, you will often get the result that you want, that you could never like wrestle somebody down to the ground to make them be a certain way. Um, I see this question from Al as far as, is this a like Jack and Jill training? So I would say no, because so the Jack and Jill community, very strong in the African American community, exposing our young kids to different outings and experiences. Our finishing school is exclusively for ladies. So Lucy and I are going to be taking ladies, I'll say starting at age 15 and up, femininity, elegance, and etiquette. So we've seen some comments in the chat about training for men, but I will say this, we've talked about the community. Obviously, I'm Black, born in Ghana, raised in the South, so still African American. Lucy is a beautiful Latina, but this is going to be for everyone and anyone who's interested in refining. If you're a woman living in modern times, um, you've probably seen or experienced what we've talked about. We didn't say it, but if if needed, our classes are available in Espanol también. So our videos are going to be uploaded to your student portal with Spanish translation and the captions. And then, of course, Lucy, feel free to share what you'd like about uh, any other communities.
I think that we want to do the español también, just in case. Again, I don't think this modern way of living has touched the Latino community as much, because we still have those traditional leanings still here in the United States, but it is getting to us. So that's something that probably in 5 years from now, that's going to be a requirement, because again, for those that are moving here, you're going to have a newer generation of what is it, first generation of children coming in into the modern world. So I think that that's going to be coming up soon. um God, I had another um thought about, I don't remember. It was, we were talking about something previously. I need to start writing down thoughts,
Totally
because
fine. It'll
it's
come
just
back to you.
so many thoughts in the comments, and I can't keep track of them. But yes, it's going to be in Espanol. I think that the captions in Spanish, once we post those sessions, those are going to be helpful as well.
Absolutely. And these Q&As that are available on YouTube or live, we're going to download these and upload to the student portal. So you'll have the private teaching as well as these Q&As. So we'll go on for just a couple more minutes. I don't see any other questions, but we did get a comment from BLJ. He says, agreed. I talked to Maggie on the phone a lot, and I agree. She's very easy to talk to. She's very receptive to what I say, and I'm more than happy to provide her any feedback, info, or suggestions. Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for sponsoring one of our scholarships. So again, ladies, last shot if you want to. We'll be on for about 5 more minutes and wrap up the slides. But we're going to talk about that, being coachable. Kevin talked about that a lot, right? And not just in relationship, but when dealing with any man. I am respectful to all men. I am coachable by, any man that I would talk to. I'm going to listen to his feedback. As women, we do receive, right? That's kind of how we're built. And we're going to talk about how that is, such a hidden like superpower. And then here's a little tip, ladies, if a man gives you feedback and you listen and you apply the feedback, that they remember that, because one of the things men don't want to do is waste their time, especially by saying things over and over. That's what we women do, all that stuff. Men don't want to do that. So listen and apply. You go a long way with that. Thank you so much, Brandon. All right, let's see what else is left on our slides. If you all have any other questions, and we will wrap up. So, all right, so we've talked about a lot. So here's just a summary of what we're going to be covering. We're going to talk about how our ladies can be more feminine, which is hopefully natural to them, but we do have to work on it. We are also going to talk about being confident, but not, cocky or arrogant, but confident as a lady. You're poised. There's so many things that you can do without saying a word that you can show that can help you show up more feminine. Of course, we're going to talk about dining etiquette. We're going to talk about etiquette in different social situations, how you enter a room, how you greet people, what applies in different with different nationalities as well. We're going to touch on business etiquette, international etiquette. So many of us, I mean, we've talked about this, just being able to write a proper email. It's almost becoming a lost art. We're going to talk about what's appropriate when you travel to other countries. We all love to travel, and Lucy is from Venezuela and Nicaragua. I'm from Ghana and then raised here in the States. We're going to talk about our backgrounds and our cultures and what you can expect in Latin households, African households, and other places we've traveled to. And then a huge one that our sponsors have asked us to talk about is communication. Unfortunately, oh, I'm going the wrong way. Um, Sorry. One of the things, unfortunately, that we are noticing is that communication is becoming, I would say, almost cryptic. I don't even know half the time what these kids are talking about. Maybe I'm just old, but if you can communicate what you're thinking in a way that gets the point across and it's succinct, it really goes far. But Lucy, do you want to talk about our topics at all?
The communication factor, especially after COVID, how we had masks on and we lost that ability to look at people's faces and understand not only when you talk, there's a lot of communication by body language. So I think that by facial expressions, we have lost that. Imagine the babies that were born when COVID hit. There's been like 3 years that all they've known is seeing people with masks on. I believe in Japan, there's even a re education course for kids that have gone through this mask period to start learning about facial expressions because they have lost that. The texting, always looking at your phone all the time, not being socially aware or not looking at someone when they're talking to you and smiling, that is part of the body language communication. So those are things that we need to start getting refreshers, of course, on that. And we're going to talk about that. And also the spoken word, how to best get your point across without having to scream, interrupt, and be annoying.
Absolutely. We definitely don't want to be annoying ladies. We want to do things that make not only men, but, other people, family, strangers, what you want to draw people in. You don't want to make them say, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get away from her." Yes, we don't want our youth to be antisocial or socially awkward. It's so true. It's so true. And so much of what we're going to talk about, it's really just awareness and correcting some behaviors. You can do a lot of this stuff for free with practice. So we can't wait to teach. All right, let's finish our slides and then
I
we
got my
will.
thought back. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No, no, please.
Okay. So the beautiful thing about this is that the ladies are going to be joining us. It's because they're going to be willing and wanting to get um, guidance from us because we're not pushing ladies to take this because there are people that are going to do what they're going to do and there are those that are going to be looking into self-improvement, and this is part of your self-improvement throughout your lifetime. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm so glad you said that. And yes, we're gonna close out on that. This really is the beginning. So if you've never heard about any of this stuff before, if it's new to you, it's okay. We all start somewhere. There is no like perfection. We can all get better. But yes, this really is going to be something that we hope to continue and we will continue. And there's just so much more to come. And if you know any ladies who are in need of a community to support a feminine transformation, we would definitely love to teach them what we know. So let's see if there's anything else on our slides, and then we will dismiss. I didn't see anybody hit the link. I think we were. Oh, okay. See you all at school. Did we cover everything? We went through all of our students and our speakers. All right. I'm having some struggles there, so we'll just stop sharing. I think we covered everything, you all. We've talked about the pricing, we've taken your questions. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and close it out. So again, this is our final Q&A before class begins. So just housekeeping for your timeline. Today is August 30th. The Google form for the scholarship will stop taking applications tomorrow night at 11:59. So if you know a young lady or grown lady or older lady who's interested, go ahead and fill out the Google form. We will give all of the responses to our sponsors. They will go through and they will pick who they want to award the scholarships to. If you are awarded a scholarship, we will present you with a certificate. If you're not selected, you will still get a letter. So either way, you will hear back from us. That will give you time, and I'll commit to doing that by Friday, which is September 1st. Class starts on September 9th, so that gives everyone else, 8 or 9 days if you decide you want to join us in this endeavor. And then we will begin our private teaching with so much more. But Lucy and I will continue to do these Q&As from time to time. The Condemned says, very informative, ladies. Looking forward to the testimonials. Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to begin. Lucy, did you have anything to close us out?
I hope to see you ladies there. You are going to have fun. You're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn from each other. And it's going to be the beginning. What is it? That Casablanca, the beginning of a beautiful friendship or something like that?
Yes, yes. I saw some Spanish in here. I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged that. I think it was just Feliz Miércoles, so happy Wednesday. Yes, absolutely. So thank you all so much for being here. Again, if you're interested in a scholarship, fill out the form. If you are a gentleman or a lady who would like to sponsor a specific student or do a partial or full scholarship, we also have a sponsorship form. You can designate who you would like to send to finishing school. Um, if you want to just register yourself and skip over all of that, the link is in the description. Thank you all as always. I hope everyone has a very safe Labor Day holiday wherever you're traveling to. And for our students, we can't wait to start. We will actually be opening up the student portal so you all can do your pre-course assessment so we can get to know you, and can't wait to see you on September 9th. All right. Thank you, Kilish. She says, thank you, ladies. Cheers, everyone, and good night. Erin Laura says, have a wonderful night, ladies and scholars. Thank you all. Thank you all for the love.
Adios.
Adios and buenos noches. Buenas
Buenas
noches.
noches. Very good. Muy
Bye,
bien.
everyone.